Hola, this is Kathleen Evans, International Living's Costa Rica Correspondent. In today's video, I'm talking about why I moved to Costa Rica. If you're enjoying our videos, please like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get notified for new uploads. And don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions for us. So, why did I move to Costa Rica? Well, I had often lived in various places around the world for things like studying overseas, extended vacations with the family, and I had the travel bug early, and I wanted to really embrace a new culture. And back in the early 90s, I started subscribing to International Living paper version before the internet. This is a true story, and never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd actually be a correspondent for International Living and live in a foreign country. But my husband and I read the magazine diligently, and whenever we traveled, we checked out various countries. And this went on, obviously, since the 90s. So on and off, we did a lot of research. And we finally started to get a little serious about it in about 2008, 2010. And we finally said, okay, let's make a list of criteria about what's important to us and what we want our home country to offer. So I actually wrote down our criteria again to share with you. First off, I wanted to hear and see the ocean every day. I grew up fairly landlocked and spent most of my life that way, and it was really important to be able to hear the ocean. There's something hypnotic and soothing about it. So that was number one. Number two, I never wanted to wear a coat again. Now that may sound kind of funny to some of you, but I grew up in the brutal winters of Chicago, and it was a pretty painful experience. I'm one of those friends when it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit, I'll show up in a coat and gloves. So that was number two criteria. We also wanted a country with a stable democracy and an educated population. These were important to us. We also wanted to be able to qualify for residency and have the process be fairly straightforward. And Costa Rica does have three different easy pathways to residency, and we qualified for one of them, even though we're not pensioners yet. We wanted access to a universal healthcare system. Both of us worked independently, or once we were going to leave our corporation, we wouldn't have health care. So that became something very important to us, especially looking at the next phase of our life. We wanted clear title to property and to be able to own it outright as a foreigner. There are some countries around the world that don't allow you to do that. However, Costa Rica does, whether it's a business or your own personal residence, or even just an investment property. Any foreigner can buy. We also wanted a place that had expat communities, not to live in a specific enclave with just expats, but we wanted someone who had already been a pioneer here, who had helped pave the pathway to make life a little bit easier. We also wanted welcoming locals. You know, there are some countries around the world that aren't really welcoming to foreigners and don't really want them to be a part of their culture, but Costa Rica definitely offers that. We also wanted ease of travel back to the United States should we need to get there quickly. And from Costa Rica to Miami, it's just 2.5 hours. Houston, it's just 3.5 hours. So the flights are easy, they're frequent, and they're not that expensive. We also wanted to look at a lower cost of living than what we had in the United States. Now, I hear it time and time again that Costa Rica isn't one of the cheapest options for expats, and that is true. But overall, when we look at our budgets, it's probably half of what we would be spending overall, including everything, especially property taxes. We also wanted to be able to drink water safely out of the tap. And that's not one of the things that people think about often, but when you look at some of the more rustic options for expats, that does become an issue, and you do have to have some sort of filtration system or buy bottled water. And we wanted to live in a place that had access to the arts, to entertainment, and that sort of thing. And you know, when we were looking around at various countries, we did look at several of the Caribbean islands. They're appealing in so many ways. However, we found that it would be very possible to get kind of bored with just island life. We're social people. We like to go out. We like to go to museums and concerts and that sort of thing. In Costa Rica, even in some of the smaller beach communities, do offer a variety of different things. So we got real serious with that criteria list, and over time, checking various countries, we kept coming back to Costa Rica, and we realized that it checked every box for us. So that's kind of the main reasons why Costa Rica worked for us. And in another video in our series, I'll narrow it down and explain why specifically Tamarindo ticked all the boxes for us. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for subscribing. Kathleen Evans with International Living. I'll see you next time.